All right, so here's my sample spreadsheet that I'm going to look at right here. So I can see I've got days right here. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. All right, so I've got days of the week. Notice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm missing something there. So I've got some of them hidden so I can just see the days that I have class. If I have even days or odd days, I can keep that into account. I've got my name on it. Always put your name on everything. All right, and I can see my tasks I need to do. We're starting with complete project timeline. That's this assignment right here. I've got 5 CNC tasks. I've got 5 3D printing tasks. So in total, you have 11 tasks. All right, taking a look over here. All right, you can see kind of each day that I want to set aside to keep me on pace for all 11 tasks right here. And I can see which day I need it to be done with. So the whole point of this is so I can say like, oh, on, let's say it's Thursday, December 12th or December 14th. I should be on task D right here. And it lets me know if I'm ahead of schedule, if I'm behind schedule, if I need to catch up, whatever I need to do. All right. So let's go ahead and start our new sheet. So create a new Google Sheet. First thing you should always do is give it a name, because that's how Google saves it. So I'm just going to call this manufacturing timeline. All right. And all right. First thing I'm going to do right here is I'm going to put my name. I'm going to say name. I'm going to say Mr. Brown. All right. Sorry if that camera keeps moving around. Hold on. All right. I'm going to zoom in here just so you can see it hopefully a little bit better. Hopefully that works for you there. All right. All right. I'm going to put my period. We are period. I'm going to say this is period 2, but whatever period you are. All right. So let's think, what do we need? We need our days of the week. We need our date. And we need our tasks. So if you've never worked with spreadsheets before, going this way, we have what are called the rows. So this is row number 4, row number 6, row number 9. And then we have the columns going up and down. So there's column A, column C, column E. And then I have cells. Each one of these things is a cell. So if I click right here, this is cell D6. So right there. All right. So we need our day, we need our date, and right now I'm just kind of laying out what I want to have in here. And then we're going to have our list of tasks. All right, and for right now I'm not going to put the names. I know I need 11 of them, or however many we need for this assignment, whatever the directions say. Right now I'm saying that it's 11, so I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. So I did that the slow way. Now, spreadsheets have a lot of nice, useful tools built into them. I'll show you a little shortcut for that. All right. If I type in 1 and I hit enter, right? If I hit 2 and I hit enter, the computer's going to do its best to figure out what pattern I'm trying to do. And the way I can use that is this little circle down here in the bottom right of the highlighted cell. So if I highlight cell 1 and cell 2, you see this little circle. If I bring this, I can drop it down, and it's going to count for me. It's going to do its best to figure out what I want. So it figured out, hey, I was counting by ones, so it's just going to keep doing that. Like if I wanted to count by, let's say 5, I go 5, 10, grab this little circle at the bottom, drag that down. Hey, look, it's counting by 5s. Cool. Useful tool. All right, so I've got 11 tasks. Date, day. All right. So what is today? Today is, I don't know, whatever today is for you. Today for me is 10/25/23. All right. Now, instead of going 10/26/23, 10/27/23, we're going to use that tool that we just learned about, this little button right here. Now, Google knows that this is a date. So if I grab this right here and I pull it down, look at that. I've got my dates. All right, I'm going to undo because I want to go this way. All right. So 10, 25, 26, 27, 28. Awesome. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go all the way to the end. So right now, by default, Google will only go to Z, to column Z. So this only goes to November 18th for me. So I need to add more columns. How do we add more columns? Well, if I don't know how to do that, who do we go to ask? We ask Google, right? So I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to say, Google Sheets, how to add columns past Z. And this is probably a common enough question that, hey, look right there. I can right click or go to the Insert tab and insert column. So I can come over here. Now, what it's saying is I can right click right here, insert one column to the right. And that will give me one column. But I know I need a lot of columns. So what you actually do, let's see here. I'm just gonna highlight everything. I don't know if this is gonna work, we'll find out. This little button right here, so I've got all my row numbers, all my column letters, this little button right here, if I click that, that will select everything in my entire spreadsheet. Then I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna right click, and now I get insert 27 columns to the right. So I'm gonna click on that. This probably won't give us enough. So let's go back to here. Let's grab this little circle. Let's drag it over. All right, so that brings me to December. I know I need to go to at least, what do our directions say? January 5th, I believe. All right. So I know I need another 30 or something columns. So let's just hit it again. Right click. So hit that little thing. Right click over here, insert columns to the right. Now this added way too many for us, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna drag this until I get to January 5th. All right. All right, so for me, that ends on column BV. All right, so I don't want all of these. So I'm going to highlight all of these. Highlighting multiple things. All right, if I click on a cell, if I want to highlight a range of cells like this, I can hold down the Shift button and then click where I want it to end. In this, I can highlight multiple things. Or if I click on this BW right here, hold down Shift and hold down the right arrow, I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'm going to right click and delete columns BW through DD or whatever yours says. All right, so that just goes all the way to the end right here. All right, cool. Now I know I don't need all of these. Let's hold down my arrow, let's go all the way back. But we're going to add it all to the beginning because it'll just kind of help us organize things at the end. All right, now days. Let's add the days of the week. Now, again, Google knows what you want to do probably. So today is, let's say Wednesday. I'm going to type in WED. Let's see if that works. All right, so if I type in WED, hey, look at that. I can drag it over and I get thu, fry. All right, so I can just take this. Again, all I had to do is type in WED for Wednesday, grab this little circle in the bottom right. I can drag this all the way over, and this is going to give me all my days of the week. All right, all the way to Friday, January 5th. Excellent. All right. Now, what should we do? Let's color code this a little bit. So I'm going to zoom out just so I can see a little bit more here. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to gray out the weekends because I know we're not going to be here on the weekends. So click on whatever Saturday is, hold down Shift, click on whatever the column for Sunday is, and then let's make this a nice gray color. So I'm going to click this little paint bucket right here, the fill color, and let's just pick this little second one right here. Just pick one of the colors, it doesn't really matter. All right, and then let's do that for all of my Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm going to zoom out just so I can see more of them at a time. This little zoom button right here. So anywhere I have a Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to fill with that gray. Now another little shortcut. If I click here and hold Shift and click over here, it'll highlight everything in between there. If I click here and I hold Control instead of Shift, it will highlight just those two that I clicked on. So I can use this, I can click on anywhere there's a Saturday, Sunday, and pressing Control instead of Shift, I can highlight multiple things. Alright, let's grab this, move it over. So essentially I'm just making a calendar at this point. But again, it's good to know how to do things yourself instead of just relying on the tools. That way you can edit them however you need to. Alright. Alright, so now I've got all my weekends marked. Now let's mark our classes. So in the Schoology page or on the Irving website, so I have put the current calendar. So I'm going to open up this calendar right here. Right, I've got that right there. I've got it opened right here also. So I'm going to mark all of my blue days or my white days. Whichever one you are, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to mark all the blue days. So, and also I'm going to mark any days that we are off. So let's start off with marking holidays, teacher work days, things like that. So I can see November 6 and 7. You're not going to be working on those days. I'm going to be working on those days. That's teacher work day. So November 6 and 7. Let's mark those. All right. So November 6 and 7. So again, I'm going to click at the top of the column here to highlight the whole column. Hold down Shift or Control because they're right next to each other. And let's make those, I don't know, this, any color. Any color you know that's you're not going to be here. All right. All right. Next, we have November 22, 23, 24 is Thanksgiving. And again, if you're looking at this a different year or different semester than right now, then follow that calendar. All right. All right. The next things are in December. So December 18 through 29 is winter break. So December 18. So, oh, lost it. And this is one where I'm going to hold that, click here, hold down Shift, click over here, and let's make that nice blue color for winter break. Well, that's kind of bright. Make that a, yeah, let's make that a, I don't know, that color. All right, so back to my calendar. Oh, January 1st is also off. Let's go back here. January 1st, Happy New Year. You get the day off. All right. So zooming out right now, you can see that took a chunk of our time out and all the weekends right here. So our days are getting shorter and shorter to work on things. Now let's add in our blue days, our white days. And just so you know how I keep pulling that calendar up on my keyboard, Alt-Tab. If you hold down Alt and hit Tab on your keyboard, you can switch windows, so I can go back and forth really easily between things. All right. So we are starting with what? Wednesday the 25th, which is today. Today is Wednesday, October. That's a white day. So blue day, 26th and 30th of October is a blue day. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to click the top of the column, that C right there, or whatever yours is, and hold down Control. So I've got Monday, and probably Wednesday and Friday. And then let's make this a nice blue for a blue day color. So let's go, don't want to get too dark because that just, attacks your eyes a little bit. You don't want to go too light because then you can't really see it. But, you know, let's go like for this one right here. I don't know, this light blue 2. That looks good. All right. All right, so let's go for November. So 1st, 3rd, just be aware the 3rd is an early release day, but November 3rd. 6th and 7th you have off, so Wednesday or Thursday the 5th. So right now I'm just copying our blue day, white day calendar. All right. So Tuesday, then we got winter break or Thanksgiving break. So then 2 days there. So that's what, Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. Most of it's going to be every other day, but I'm just double checking just to make sure. All right, and then look at that. We got winter break, and then we're coming after winter break. That first is a holiday, and then Tuesday and Thursday are blue days. All right, Tuesday, holding down Control so I can select multiple things. All right. All right, so here we go. We've got a calendar. Now, we're going to delete a lot of this stuff. Actually, we're not going to delete it. We're going to hide a lot of this stuff. So let's say if I'm an even day, or, you know, let's say I have the white classes, a white day for this class. I could come over here and I could right-click this and I could say delete column. And then I could come over here, delete column. So I can see just the white day calendars. But let's not do that. We spent all this time making it. What we can do is we can just hide the columns instead of completely getting rid of them. Because once you delete them, they're gone once you start doing other stuff. So I'm going to undo. I don't want to delete, I want to hide them. So what I can do, so if you have this class on a white day, you should hide the non-class days, the blue days. If you have this class on a blue day, you should hide the white classes, the classes you don't have this. All right. So let's do this as an example. Let's just say this is a white day class. All right, so I'm going to hide all the blue ones. So right here, up at the top, I'm going to right click and I'm going to say hide column. Now what that does is it makes it disappear, but if you look right here at the top, you see these little arrows right here. That means there's something there, but it's just not showing it. If I need to get it back, I can double click that and it comes back. Or if I right click, I'm sure there's a right click. No, you just double click it. All right, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to hide all of the blue days. All right, so I'm going to zoom out so I can see more. Hold down Control. Click anywhere there's a blue, right click, hide columns. And if you make a mistake, you can always undo. Right click, hide columns, right click. Actually, I'm going to hide these vacation days, these non-school days as well, because we don't need those. I'm going to keep the weekends in here. And I'll tell you why in a second. Because the whole point of this is to give yourself a calendar that you can look at to keep yourself organized. If you keep the weekends in there, it'll help kind of keep you mentally like, okay, this is a week, this is a week, this is a week. Whereas if you just delete all of those, it makes it really hard to see. All right, so let's come over here. Let's just hide that. All right, what am I hiding? The blue days. All right. So now you might be thinking, hey, we made a whole bunch of stuff. Why did we just get rid of it? Well, because this just makes a lot more sense now. So right now I can see what days I have class. Now that 2 months that we had from the very start of this thing 20 minutes ago, now you can see I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that 2 months got shortened down to 19 class periods. 19 class periods, you have 11 assignments to do. So you can start doing the math. You're going to have to actually work during this time. All right. Cool. So now let's put in some of our deadlines right here. So what I'm going to do, let's go back to my directions. All right. So my project timeline directions. All right. My first unit is going to be due November 28th. So November 28th, or the day before that if you don't have that class. I'm going to highlight this one, and I'm going to make this, this is an important day. Let's make it a red. Again, I'm not going to do this bright red just because that's ugly. Let's go to this nice light red too. All right. So that's when I know that first section is due. My second section is due January 5th. All right, let's go back down here, January 5th. Click that. Let's highlight that light red number 2. All right, cool. Now, we have all this extra stuff down. If you scroll down, I don't want all that. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click about somewhere around, right here. I'm going to click, again, the little header for that row, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I think it goes to like 1,000. Just keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. And I'm going to click on that one there, and I'm going to hit right click and delete rows 22 through 1,000. All right, now you may be thinking, hey, why did we just spend the last hour making this whole thing and then deleting a lot of it? Well, now we have the actual structure of our timeline that we're going to use. All right, so I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to actually start putting in all the tasks. So I'm going to zoom in again so you can see it. Let me go to my directions. My directions. All right, let me see if I can just copy this. So hey, look at that. I'm just going to go right here into my directions. I'm going to right click copy or control C. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on here and control V. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Or right click paste. So here's my 11 assignments I need to do. What you could have also done is just typed them all in. All right. I'm going to space these out a little bit. So what I can do, so I know that this project timeline, that's this assignment right here, that's kind of by itself. Tasks 1 through 5, that's all CNC stuff. Tasks A, B, C, D, E, that's all 3D printer stuff. So I'm going to right click over here at the little column. I'm going to insert one row above, and let's insert another row above. So I'm going to insert 2 rows right here. Same thing right here. Click on this one, right click, insert one above, right click, insert one above, and then I'm just going to give this a little header right here, a little title. I'm going to bold it just to make it stand out. I'm going to hit Control B to bold, or click that little bold button right there, and this is 3D print. Nope, this is CNC, sorry. This one is 3D print. All right. All right. Now, okay, so there's a lot of cells here. Doesn't really make it very clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some borders into here. What the borders do is they draw the lines around the outline of each one of the little cells. So I know this one right here. I'm going to hold down Control and click all of the tasks, all 11 of these tasks, or you can do them all separately. I'm just holding down Control to make it go a little quicker. And I'm going to go to this border tool right here. So this borders button, click on that, and I want all borders. What that's going to do is can put a box around each one of these cells. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. All right, so one thing, so now we can kind of go in and, you know, make whatever we need to do. Let's resize some stuff. So I've got a lot of space in here that I don't necessarily need. You can click up here, these little borders, these little lines between the columns. You see how the mouse kind of turns different? It's got a little line with two little arrows sticking out. I can resize these borders, these columns, however I need to. But instead of doing all of it and kind of making them all look a little goofy, if you double click that, it will resize it to whatever will fit on there. So, all right, so if I double click that, it's going to automatically resize it to the longest thing in that column. So for example, right here, I can do that, but I want everything to be resized. So I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to hit this little space up here between the rows and the columns, and I'm going to double click. Let's see here. There we go. All right, just pick any of them and double click it. When they're all selected, if I make a change to it, it's going to change all of them that are selected. If I do the double click, it'll resize everything to the longest thing in there. All right, so this sets my size up a little bit nicer. All right, so now I can kind of go through and start planning out. I've got my calendar, I can see what days I need. All right, so project timeline, that's this assignment. Let's say we're going to take 2 days on that. Now you can go through, you can put a little X, or let's highlight it yellow. So I'm going to highlight these two cells, turn them yellow. All right, manufacturing process. So this is where you're gonna have to start thinking, start planning stuff for yourself. If you wanna do 3D printing stuff first, you can do the 3D printing stuff first. If you wanna do CNC first, you can do that first. All right, let's do, for this example, I'm gonna do 3D printing first. Do whichever one you want. You can look at the other sample to see what it would look like if you did CNC first. But let's say filament recommendation. So now let's look. I've got 5 tasks. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 class periods to do it. All right. So that means that I might have 1 class per assignment, might have 2 classes per assignment. Filament recommendation, I could probably knock that out in a class. So let's just put an X right there. 3D printer safety, that's a short one. Let's say that'll take a class. All right. Inventor, intro to inventor. That one might take you 2 different classes. So let's put a X. CAD model, let's say 2 classes, and then 3D printer operations, let's say that's going to take me 2 classes. All right. So now I can, let's go back and highlight those yellow. And then let's go through and do the same thing. So I know I want to finish, oh, you can't see me. I know I want to finish on that due date right there. So down there, I want my last thing to be on that due date. All right. Now let's go through and we take a look here. Now this second one might be a little bit longer. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, 9 classes for doing these things. So, all right, so I got an issue right here. I don't want to have to keep going over here to see what my task is and then going all the way over here to see what the date is. So I need to move, or I need to adjust it to keep this thing here all the time. Now what you can do, let's see here. There we go. All right. So what you can do, if you look at, let me see if I can zoom in more. All right. So this little corner cell right here, right? If I grab it with this hand right here, what I can do is I can drag this and put it in between A and B. And what that will do is whenever I scroll, it will keep this stuff all right there. So now I can scroll, see all my dates, and still see all my tasks over here. And if I wanted to, I could actually take this one and drop it down below the date. And so that way, if I scroll down, I can still keep that date up there. So this is a useful tool when you've got a bigger spreadsheet, a lot of stuff to deal with. I can still see my titles over here on the side. I can still see my dates up here on the top. All right. So let's come over here, and I know Wednesday right here, so let's just, I'm just going to just pick stuff, go through, actually make it something. All right. And then let's highlight those yellow again, just so I know when I need to work on stuff. All right, cool. So now if I zoom out, all right, so here's everything. This is my next 2 months all planned out. I know what I need to be working on. I know if I'm ahead of schedule. I know if I'm behind schedule. I know, everything I need to do. I know what I should be working on, when I should be working on it. So we got a beautiful schedule, a beautiful timeline right here. So we just made our own Gantt chart. Again, there's ways to do this stuff automatically, but it's a really good idea the very first time you do something to actually learn how to do it, to learn how it works. This goes for everything in life. If you're working with tools in the lab, if you're working with CNC machines, if you get into computer programming, don't just use a script that'll do something you have no idea. Actually learn the basics of it, then you can actually do it, and you get a lot more power over whatever you're doing. All right, so I've got my timeline here. Let's say you're done with everything. It all looks beautiful. What we're going to do is we're going to export this as a PDF. A PDF is what you're going to turn in. So I'm going to hit File. I'm going to hit Download. I'm going to hit PDF. All right. So now I have a lovely PDF that you could print out even if you wanted to. I'm going to hit Export in the top over here. And then that is what you're going to turn in for this assignment. All right. I know this was a long video. I know we went over a lot of stuff, but again, we're laying the foundation for the next 2 months, for the next 2 big units and everything. All right. If you got any questions, let me know. Let your teacher know. We're here to help you. We're here to help you walk through this thing. So hopefully you learned a couple of new things about Google Sheets here. All right. So take care. Let me know if you need help.